thank you for tuning in and welcome to ciLiving. I'm your host, Jaclyn Friedlander. The University of Illinois Extension is getting ready for one of their biggest events of the year. We will have more on Garden Walk later today, but right now, horticulture educator Ryan is here and he's a familiar face on ciLiving. So today I wanted to know a little bit more about his career. So thank you so much for being here.
Sure, yeah. So, I started with an early interest probably in plants that goes back to, even before high school age, working on the farm with my uncles and grandfather. They all farmed. So back then it was kind of like crop or weed,
Right.
but I still like that kind of recognition and difference, which led me to, I grew up here locally, working in Urbana Park District in the summer times, seasonal in high school. And that got me even a little more interested in differentiating different plants and learning about them, which led me to get a forestry degree. And so I came back to Champaign-Urbana with that degree to work as in commercial tree care as an arborist.
Okay.
So I did that job for, 5 or 6 years straight out of college, and was lucky enough to work locally here for Arbor Smith, a local company that was started by Greg Smith, who just, was an early mentor for me in horticulture and just all kinds of plants. While Greg had a tree business, he really knew every plant and how to grow it, and just built this love for just all plants in me. Which led me to actually go back for a graduate degree, again in forestry, but with a little different perspective, where I kind of appreciated, as an arborist working in the landscape, I kind of looked at just what plants grow the best here.
Right.
Where in grad school, I got a little more appreciation for ecology. It made me recognize, hey, there's native plants that are ecologically beneficial, and there's non-native plants. And, I started to then, think about this and classify it more, which then kind of led to a job for a number of years I had in Southern Illinois with USDA, working as the area forester for the Natural Resources Conservation Service. And in that job, I did everything from wetland restoration to forest restoration, prairie planting, managing wildlife habitat. And it really helped me just encompass all this in the natural world into, managing plant communities for that. Fast forward to 2017, my wife and I are both from the area. We're interested in moving back. I saw this job for U of I Extension. One of the things that my early mentor, Greg, had impressed upon me as a 20-year-old was a love for science. And the fact that all this horticulture we're doing is based in scientific research. He was very up on that and was handing me papers to read and things, where at the time I think they probably went over my head. But after grad school, I really had an appreciation for that. And that was a big draw in this position, was that my job now is essentially teaching folks and doing outreach on the science of growing plants. So a lot of what I do, a lot of what I talk about on this show is based on the current research, and not only things going on at U of I, but at other universities, and that's really the extension mission. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I always learn so much from you. I was just telling you right before we started that I actually, for the first time I feel like ever really, have a small successful garden going on. I have a few tiny cucumbers and tomatoes and things like that are actually growing, and I feel like a lot of it is, things I've learned from you and Rops and all the different planters that we've had on the show. So thank you for sharing everything.
I'm glad some things are rubbing off then, or like I'm able to convey some of this positive message. So that's great.
Thank you for sharing your career journey. And later on ciLiving, Ryan is going to tell you all about the U of I Garden Walk and how you can get in on the fun and explore the outdoors. But first, we are prepping for the perfect tea party. Mariman Herb will show you how to make their delicious party treats right after the break.